Mike Tyson and Don King. Like, if you go to your promoter, Bob Merriman at the time, and you say, Bob, I need 20 tickets. Those are not gifts. You got to pay for those. That's going to come out your salary, right?
Oh, yeah. And whoever's participating in the fight, it's coming off their percentage as well. So, yeah, nothing's free.
Right. So oh, man, my promoter bought me this Rolls Royce. My promoter bought me this mean coat and this Rolex. And look, did fighters always know that even though they were getting these things, that was actually coming out of their pocket, or they thought they were just being gifted those things?
It's a couple of things. A lot of athletes, a lot of fighters, they just turn away. They don't want to hear about it. They don't want to. I guess know that that's real. They just want to shy away from it and let somebody else deal with it. I think that it's the athlete's responsibility. It's, for instance, Mike Tyson and Don King. Well, people keep saying, well, Don King ripped off Mike Tyson and this and that. Well, Mike Tyson made about $400-500 million. That's his money. What he does with that, it's not Don King's fault.
Right.
So, you have to, as an athlete, as a person, you have to look out for your best interests as well.
You mentioned earlier when Floyd he bought out of his contract with Top Rank. You had started your company, and for 16, 17 fights, you promoted Floyd.
I did promote Floyd, yeah. And he was, the time when he was making the, I think it was a Showtime contract, $30-40 million. Yeah, we promoted all those fights.
Right.
Great experience for us. It was, it put us on the map, obviously, and, we're now one of the top promoters in the world. So, look, boxing, the one thing that I'm not too keen on with boxing is that it became a business. It wasn't a business before. Yes, you're making money. I made a lot of money, but I treated boxing as trying to be great, as a platform for me to be great, not a businessman.
I'm not a boxer, but can I look at it like this? They saw a lot of other great fighters in their career, great, but broke.
Yeah.
And so they said, if all things being equal, I would rather be less great and more wealthy as opposed to being great and broke. Can you?
I have to disagree because I've lived it.
Yeah.
I'm in these shoes, and it's, again, the responsibility of the fighter, of the athlete. And it's not just boxers. I mean, look, if I'm making $30 million and I'm spending like a madman, and I'm having all these revenues come in.
Well, you actually made 15 because Uncle Sam got to get half.
Yeah,
so you didn't make 30, you made 15.
Of course. But if I'm spending like I'm still making that type of money, guess what? I'm going to run out of money.
Right.
And that's the individual's fault.
Right.
Maybe I'm not paying taxes. Maybe I owe people money. Maybe I just want to live this lavish lifestyle so I can get the clicks. It's the individual's responsibility.
But you have to understand also, Oscar, you're dealing with guys that have very limited education. They come from very impoverished backgrounds. They're trying to lift themselves up, lift their families up, and put them in a socioeconomics that, had it not been for boxing, they probably would have never been there.
Absolutely.
And so they're easy to take advantage of.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I get what you're saying, like, oh, it's still your responsibility. But me, I couldn't take advantage of someone. Even if I had the opportunity, and I know they're like, man, I'm gonna rob this dude, Bryant, and he not gonna know anything. That's just not in me. I'm not so sure. A lot of promoters had that same philosophy, though.
There's a lot of, and like I mentioned, the promoters I just mentioned have never laced up the gloves, so they don't understand.
Right.
They don't live it. I'm in camp with these fighters, training myself, knowing what I'm going to win, what I'm going to make, knowing what I'm going to lose, knowing what I'm going to spend. Like, I know all this. I don't know why I know this, but from an early age, it was just instinctual for me. I had to take care of my money. I had to ask questions. I had to surround myself with a good business partner. And that's the key. Getting yourself a person who you can trust. He's going to screw you over anyways. So make sure you trust him the few years you're making all your money.
Right.
He's going to try to screw you, so that's when you have to be smart and cut the tie.
Right.
You know? But it's up to the individual. I emphasize that because whether you have an elementary education, a high school education, or you have you're a Harvard graduate, you have to ask questions. You have to be smart enough with all the money you're making, all the hard work you're putting into it. Don't tell me you're not just going to let everybody take advantage of you. No, you have to keep what's right. You have to keep what is yours.
Right.
You have to fight for it, and ask the questions and surround yourself with good people.
50. He tried to get into the promotion business. He and Floyd was supposed to try to do something, and then he got licensed in New York, correct?
No, we did business together, actually. Okay. Canelo fought Kirkland. 50 Cent had just signed Kirkland to a promotional contract. Okay. We had a fight together. Canelo knocked him out, and that was the end of 50's promotional career.
So he only had one fighter?
I believe it was one high-profile fighter.
Was that a situation where he tried to sign Floyd away from you? Was Floyd still?
I believe so. He was trying to do something with Floyd, and then Floyd just got bigger than 50 or something. Egos got in the way, and you know how that goes. And but yeah, the only business deal I've ever made with 50, Canelo knocked him out, and that was the end.
What's the biggest mistake, be it in the boxing ring or in business, that Oscar De La Hoya has made?
Probably inside the ring. I stood in there too long. Yeah. And
that's that Mexican machismo.
Yeah, it's got to be.
You got to go toe to toe.
Yeah, it's got to be. But also not going in prepared fully, 100% in some of my fights.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Why would you do that?
Overconfidence, too much too fast. See, I was this kid growing up with nothing. East LA, da-da-da. I didn't really have nobody gave me advice. I learned everything the hard way. I learned everything on my own. And there was a certain point of my career, probably in my prime, or a little after my prime, where I just thought that I didn't have to train hard or run that extra mile, or I just felt that I was invincible. And, I had some losses. I had some close fights that I should have won easy. Was starting to kind of, go downhill, personally and professionally. So this sport does that to you, man. Any athlete will tell you that. If you don't stay focused, this thing can eat you up alive.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party, because we like to do something before two something.